Hello, everyone, and welcome
Or welcome back
to the Wizarding World Legacy Podcast,
where we discuss the magic of the Wizarding World's past, present, and future.
We're your hosts, Eric
and Jasmine.
At the beginning of this week, we released an extra video to celebrate our return to Hogwarts for September 1st.
Having been back at Hogwarts for a full week now, there's loads to talk about.
Oh yeah, there is.
Oh yeah, there
In
is.
fact, the same day we released our video, some jerks decided to release their own video.
Some jerks like the Wizarding World and Harry Potter and HBO.
And they kind of dropped the motherload of spoilers. Well, not spoilers, but announcements.
Yeah.
And they dropped it
like
it was hotter than a dragon's egg incubating in Hagrid's fireplace.
Given how much was released, we're going to jump right in, starting with the newest casting announcements.
But make sure you stick around for the entire video because we are going over some other announcements that you're definitely not going to want to miss because they're seriously awesome.
To start off, we're going to start with the kiddos, who are all new to the silver screen. We don't know ages or heights or special interests, and as we've discussed on a previous episode, we don't know them and they're not publicly released, but someone in the world does know them.
Their birth dates?
Yes, their birth dates. Their birth dates are known to somebody.
So they haven't been in anything, but we're going to start off with a Gryffindor student.
Of course.
Dean Thomas. That's slick it.
Dean Thomas is going to be played by Elijah Ocean, we think.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Might not be, but
we could be wrong. We're always willing to admit that.
How's he described in the books?
In the books, Dean is described as tall, thin, black, and big fan of football.
Soccer
for us.
He likes the Manchester United team.
As of this point in time, we check all those boxes with Elijah. Height, we're just going to have to hope it comes with age.
He looks visually like a good casting.
Yeah.
You know, comparing to the original casting, who I thought was also good.
Called him a slick git not 5 hours ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know his age, he looks about the right age. He looks like a cute kid.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Let's go.
That's Dean Thomas. The next casting announcement we have was for Vincent Crabbe, who is being portrayed by Finn Stevens.
Cool. In the books, Crabbe is described as large, thick-set.
How thick could you get?
And mean-looking.
And what I really love about this casting announcement is that the photo that they used for this kid is mean-looking. Like, he looks pissed off. And, like, he would probably take your cupcake, eat it, pass out, and be dragged into a closet.
Come on, let's get him.
So you could use his hair for polyjuice potion.
Or a specific scenario, Eric. Where would you have come up with that? He's just not someone I myself would trifle with at such a young age.
I also think he looks like he would have been a perfect casting for Dudley. Blonde.
Yeah, he's the bright blonde for Dudley.
He actually looks heavyset.
He looks a little mean.
Our third and final newcomer in terms of child actors that was announced was for Crabbe's well-known counterpart in Draco's left-hand man?
Or right.
Gregory Goyle.
Good on, Goyle.
Gregory Goyle will be played by none other than William Nash.
Who is also described as larger, but he tends to lean towards sort of the burly side and comes off as a bit slow or dim-witted. He doesn't look like super big and imposing, but he looks like he's a bit bigger of a kid. I don't know that he looks dim-witted per se. He looks like kind of happy, but it could be like stupid happy.
Exactly. I feel like there's a clip in the beginning of Harry Potter that it might be included, where Goyle or Crabbe starts singing the Hogwarts.
And then he gets elbowed.
Because he's not being mean or tough enough. But at heart, he wants to be singing that song.
I think so. When I looked at the casting announcement photos for Crabbe, it reminded me of Draco's casting announcement photo, where it's like I'm asking, did you take this photo specifically for this casting announcement? Because you look the part.
Right. It kind of feels like we might have grounded them just before taking these photos.
Yeah, and they're like, fine, I'll take the picture.
Fine, I'll take this stupid picture.
Whereas Gregory Goyle looks like this is just a nice headshot that he sent in. So I think he's another good casting. I'm sure he'll do a great job. We have nothing to base that on in terms of their acting experience.
Literally nothing.
But with the childhood actors announced and out of the way, we're going to move on to some of the adult castings. Because yes, there are more casting announcements.
There's more.
And we're going to start with the new Griphook.
Yes, famous Gringotts Goblin Griphook. He is going to be portrayed by Lee Gill.
So it's Gil, the Gringotts Goblin Griphook?
The Gringotts Goblin Griphook is going to be portrayed by Lee Gill. Got it.
Sweet.
Take it. Not doing it again.
He's a 45-year-old English actor, and honestly, he's got a pretty impressive resume.
standing at 4 feet tall, particularly appropriate. He's been in Game of Thrones
The Witcher.
and Fantastic Beasts,
As a goblin.
and maybe Where to Find Them.
As a goblin. So I think that's pretty awesome that he's kind of already been within the wizarding world, played a goblin, honestly looked awesome on screen. I don't know that it was a particularly important part. I've got to go back and watch that particular film, but again, looked awesome.
Right. I think he was in the elevator goblin. I think he's on the elevator as someone is going up or down. I forget. Or he was in the bar. I can't remember. He was somewhere. I saw the picture. He looked great.
He's also gained notoriety for playing Gary in The Joker, and he's definitely going to be incredible.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be fantastic because, I mean, it's hard to say that he looks like Griphook because Griphook is mostly achieved through prosthetics.
Yeah, prosthetic ears, nose, teeth.
I would say that it's not so much a matter of him looking like Griphook. It matters more based on his performance. And I cannot personally put together a better resume for someone in this role than the resume he has.
It's great to see that he's already played a character that heavily relies on prosthesis, like another goblin.
Right.
Because that is a challenge in and of itself to
We
be
know
able
we
to
can
act.
handle it.
Yeah, well, to be able to handle it and to be able to act with all this stuff on you and not really have a sense of what your body is doing and how that's being portrayed on film.
I'm very excited for him.
Griphook was played by a couple different people on screen before, one of which we'll talk about later. Our next announcement.
Madam Poppy Pompfrey.
Head of the hospital wing, Madame Pompfrey, will be portrayed by Brid Brennan, who is a 70-year-old Northern Irish actress, best known for her Tony Award-winning performance in the play Dance at Lunusa? Lunas.
Lug House.
That's not that. I said I would remember this, but it's Lunusa. That's what it was. She later reprised the role in the 1998 film adaptation alongside the likes of Meryl freaking Streep.
Pretty big deal. On screen, she's appeared in notable projects like Shadow Dancer, Brooklyn, Florence Foster Jenkins, and Cal. I'm not personally familiar with these projects, but she's been in them. TV fans may also recognize her from series like The Escape Artist and Marcella.
The books don't really give a strong description of what she would look like.
Right.
So what really stands out is more her personality, like her brisk, efficient manner, bustling about the hospital wing, and disapproving of basically everybody's choices.
What do you expect? Pumpkin juice?
So I think she's perfectly fine because we don't really have any expectations for what she's going to look like other than the films, and I don't want to specifically have to compare her to the films.
Exactly. I'm not looking to compare her. I'm looking for something new, and I think she'll bring me something new.
The list of cast members just keeps growing,
I'm getting exhausted.
and that's kind of fitting for our next announcement.
Oh, it does just keep growing, doesn't it? Our next casting announcement is the one and only Professor Pomona Sprout.
Longbottom's been neglecting his earmuffs.
Professor Sprout is going to be portrayed by Serena Saba.
Who is a 50-year-old British Lebanese actress with a strong background in the theater.
Seen that before.
I feel like she might have performed with the Royal Shakespeare Company and also...
The National Theatre.
Exactly.
Taking on classical and contemporary roles.
Her most recent work was as Maggie in The Black Forest. And that's just like her most recent work. She's taken on more than 60 different roles across TV, film, and audio work.
And the stage. Professor Sprout is described as a short, squat witch with messy hair, earthy patched robes, and obviously dirt under the old fingernails.
Serene is 5'7", so she's pretty average height for a female. However,
You are pretty average, yeah.
thank you. If we put her next to someone like McGonagall, being portrayed by Janet McTeer, who stands at 6'1", taller than some people in this room, I think she'll appear plenty short.
The only thing is I don't think they really have any scenes together.
No, they all sit at the head table.
Other than that, messy hair and dirty fingernails are pretty easy to achieve.
Also, I saw, like, looking at her casting pictures, she's got these, like, just, like, bigger bangs, and I don't know what it is about the bangs, but they're giving Professor Sprout for me.
All in all, I mean, she certainly doesn't match what we have seen on screen before in terms of her visual aesthetic, but doesn't have to, as long as she can kind of play the part, and as long as the costume and makeup and everything else are well done, I think she'll be great.
As long as we are sticking to what we know from the books, and we are,
Yeah.
I think she's got good potential here. Our next casting announcement is a character that we've read about, but we've never seen him on the silver screen before.
But we have seen him look silvery on screen.
Ooh.
I'm actually so excited about this for numerous reasons.
Yeah? Well, that level of enthusiasm certainly isn't shared by his students.
True.
We are, of course, talking about the one and only Cuthbert Binns.
How may I help you?
The only ghost professor is finally going to be included in the story. So we don't need to rely on Professor McGonagall ruining the story or just taking credit for the story about the Chamber of Secrets, because
Right.
she is not the one who tells the class about it.
You have enough screen time, Minerva.
I know. The Minerva of you.
Excuse me.
But Professor Cuthbert Binns is the one who relates that story.
Cuthbert or Cuthbert?
Cuthbert.
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 We're all set up for failure.
I hope you don't have a lisp.
Me
because
either.
Have fun with that one.
Because imagine being dead and having a lisp. That would be such a bad day.
Every year he introduces himself and everyone laughs, but he doesn't know why.
Also, if I die and then I get up and go to work, please put me down. Professor Binns is going to be portrayed by Mark Richard Durden Smith,
More commonly known as...
simply Richard Durden.
Durden is an 81-year-old English actor who has worked with the Royal Shakespeare Company and the National Theatre.
You know what? We've seen people with this exact skill set before. However,
That's interesting.
he has a reputation as a Shakespearean and classical actor.
Which a lot of the actors from the original films also shared. And I think that's like a prerequisite when you're from the UK. On TV, he's best known for playing Oscar in Back to Life.
Who is the quirky and supportive father, and I do believe it's pretty quirky to get up when you're dead and go to work.
It's also quirky to play a ghost when you played in a series called Back to Life.
Comedy. We're going for comedy.
And for his 1990s turn as Grand Wizard Egbert Helleborn in The Worst Witch. On the big screen, he's had memorable appearances in major films like Batman and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Professor Binns is described as a frail, ghostly old man with a dry, droning lecture style that makes history of magic one of the dullest classes at Hogwarts, if not the dullest. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. But I do feel as though we just might have the technology to make a very talented 81-year-old white guy look like a ghostly old man.
And if we can't, someone should get fired, because I'm pretty sure I would have the skills to do that.
Right. I'm super confident about his ability to pull this off.
Now, we have seen him on screen in a sense once before. Hogwarts Legacy does feature Cuthbert Binns as one of the professors, or Professor Binns. He's portrayed as a literal floating ghost, just like the rest of the ghosts, and I think that is obviously how we're going to have to portray him.
Right.
What I didn't like, just as a little aside with the video games, is what they did with his voice. They kind of gave him this like almost rotary sounding, like out of phase kind of tone to his voice. It was kind of like
Like
this
he's
weird...
not in this dimension or something?
Right. And you don't hear that with the rest of the ghosts. At least we didn't in the movies. I think there are ways to give the sort of ethereal type tone to the voice without making it almost annoying. And I think the way they did it in the video games was a little...
Might have been a little much.
Yeah, particularly for somebody who's lecturing.
Right.
So I think kind of do what we did with the films in terms of, have them either talk ghostly or they're just look ghostly. I think that's fine.
I don't think that we know anything about ghost lore that says that they have to sound drastically different than they sounded in life.
That's it for Professor Binns. I can't wait to see him. I'm actually pretty stoked for that because it just, again, speaks to the book accuracy element
Right.
of it.
I think this is the first character.
No, this is the third. This is the second that's been announced. The third that they have said will be integrated that wasn't. So we have Pierce Pocus
Oh, yes.
is definitely going to be in there.
But we haven't had him cast.
If you look on the IMDb, he actually is cast.
Who?
So I'll throw that up on screen here.
Mystery for everybody.
Yeah, so Pierce Pocus has been cast.
Okay.
He's an unknown actor, childhood actor as well.
Pop off.
But he's there. We know that Peeves is going to make an appearance. That has been essentially confirmed by the show writers. We don't know who it is yet.
Right.
It's another character that wasn't in the films. And now we've got Professor Binns.
Right. So I think that he's the first cast member that I know about.
No, but we knew about Pierce Pocus because we saw him in photos. We obviously speculated it was Pierce Pocus, but it was pretty obvious.
Nothing has been confirmed. I'm talking
has been.
about a fit.
It's on IMDb.
Okay.
Confirmed.
Fair enough.
Our last casting announcement is both confounding and incredibly charming. Charming? Get it?
Yes. Our final casting announcement is the wonderful charms, Professor. Phileas Flitwick.
Yes. That was good. Come on. Now, Flitwick is kind of a mixed bag in terms of the reception for who has been cast in this role, largely because HBO and the showrunners had said, we really want all fresh new faces to be cast in this role, probably so that people aren't comparing to what was done before.
Right.
And this is not that, not even sort of. And that's largely because Professor Flitwick is going to be played by none other than
Warwick Davis.
Jasmine,
Eric.
do you think Warwick Davis can play Professor Flitwick?
Yes, Eric. I do think that Warwick Davis can play Phileas Flitwick. However, can Warwick Davis play Professor Phileas Flitwick without bringing me all the way back to what year was the first movie released?
25 years ago.
25 years ago. Dear God. Can he not bring me back 25 years ago? Because I need to be able to experience this franchise without trying to put myself in the original movies. And I already have the urge to put myself in the original movies.
Separating out the two is incredibly hard, especially when you had such iconic actors.
Exactly.
And I think this is one of the primary defenses some people have made about the Snape, not to bring up the Snape casting, but the Snape casting.
The Snape casting.
Is, he's so drastically different than the original casting that, if nothing else, it'll be easy to separate out the two's performances. And sure, I could go along with that supposition. I still don't think that makes up for the discrepancy in how the casting was, how he was cast. But it's going to be harder to do that with Warwick. I will say, however, that there are a few things going in his favor. One, Flitwick has already been portrayed in two completely different looks. So for the first couple of films, he was portrayed as this, and I'll put a picture up, old wizard with like this crazy white hair, crazy outfits. I actually really liked the way he was originally portrayed.
Yeah. A lot quirkier.
He was a lot quirkier. But then again, the first look didn't give this kind of like secretly badass charms duelist professor that he really was. And I think the second one kind of fit that a little better.
Very much so. Like his robes were giving tailored suits.
Like James Bond, but like small.
And magical.
And magical.
Like a magical James Bond.
The second look actually came from when he played the role of the choir instructor. And they just said, we don't really have another need for this character, but this is kind of an interesting look for Professor Flitwick. And they just sort of did it with no explanation and no like
wrap the first one.
No goodbye, like traditional wizard looking original. Goodbye, friend of Hagrid's.
Exactly.
None of that. It was just, hey, it's Flitwick and you should know that. That's on to you.
Idiot.
They could just make him look totally different. And if you compare the two, and I'll put them up side by side here, you would be hard pressed to know that that is the same person without already knowing it's the same person.
Right. I wouldn't have guessed.
They may be able to do it in a way that, without thinking about the fact that, oh, this is actually the same guy.
Well, and he's also played a second role.
He's actually played multiple other roles.
So many other roles.
But like another sort of leading role, which was the original Griphook. And he wasn't the original. The Griphook in the first like one or two movies where he goes like, lamp please.
Right.
Key please. That was a different actor altogether. And I believe he passed away. He eventually took over, I don't think till the later films, because we don't really hear about Griphook until the later books. So he became Griphook. And again, did a great job. His voice was totally different. His demeanor was totally different. Yeah. Like everything about him was totally different. And you wouldn't have known unless you knew that it was him.
Exactly. So would I personally have cast the exact same actor to play the exact same role? No, I don't think I would have.
Can he do a great job? Yeah. Can he maybe do a great job without even kind of taking away from the fact he's supposed to be somebody new? Maybe. We'll see. The other advantage that he has, of course, is that Warwick Davis is ridiculously connected in the small person community. And he was actually leaned heavily upon, as far as I understand, this was in like interviews and behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Right.
He was leaned heavily upon in the film franchise as well as in other films he's been in to sort of use his network in order to fill other roles. So like a lot of the Gringotts goblins were people that he knew that he thought would be great for those roles. And other, little people throughout the films, extras, things like that, were a lot of people he knew. And he's done this again for other film franchises because he's been in a ton of different movies. We didn't bother getting into him because just look on IMDb and it's miles long.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
You don't.
That would be the entire video.
Right.
So I do think he'll be able to do a good job without totally taking us out of a new experience. But we'll have to wait and see how they make him look, because that's what it's going to come down to. We know his performance is fine.
Right.
It's going to be how they make him look.
It's going to be how they make him look. And my hope is that he puts some thought into how to portray a character that he portrayed in a very different way. Now, some fans are sometimes concerned about the impact that dwarfism can have on a person's lifespan.
Yeah.
I, not being a medical professional, am going to default to our residential medical professional, Eric, here, to give us a little bit of background on dwarfism.
Yeah. So I'm not a expert on anthropology and, life expectancy for such specific congenital disorders. But there are types of dwarfism that do have an impact on life expectancy, some that don't, and some that kind of do. So to start with, pseudoachondroplasia is one of the more common forms of dwarfism, and it does not necessarily limit life expectancy. There is the other end of the spectrum, which is primordial dwarfism, which does significantly limit life expectancy. However, the average life expectancy for somebody with primordial dwarfism is around 30 years old. So not likely the case in somebody who has reached an age of 55 years. The one that kind of falls in between is called achondroplasia. This condition can lower life expectancy, but it's somewhat marginal by up to about 10 years. And people still live until, age 60s, 70s, and even into their 80s with this condition. So the risk of dwarfism having an impact on Warwick Davis's ability to see this roll through is little to none, I would say.
I'm still more concerned about John Lithgow than I am.
Way more concerned.
Davis.
That's even more true because, Warwick finds himself in a much better position in terms of having access to great medical care, high quality food, because he's a very well respected and well paid actor who can just afford to take great care of himself. So I'm not worried about that at all. And I am thrilled that in some ways that he gets to continue to be a part of the Harry Potter franchise, because he's been so much a part of the Harry Potter community ever since the film's inception.
Right. I feel like we see him at all the amusement park openings. He is
store openings. He goes to some of the store openings.
Yeah.
When they've announced, new releases within the Wizarding World and they've interviewed cast members, he's always him, Tom Felton, always front of the line to be interviewed.
Phelps twins,
and sometimes Luna Lovegood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so they've all been there. He is particularly supportive of the franchise. I very much understand how people might be skeptical.
Yeah, I don't want to discount the fact that people
all.
are like, what's the point? I get it. But I just think we have to give it a chance and see how it comes out, because I do think it can be done in a way that's not going to take away from the new experience. So with those major casting announcements out of the way, there were a number of things, as I alluded to at the beginning of this video, announced on the day of our last video, September 1st. Interestingly, one of the first announcements that came out was that there's going to be a new Hogwarts, or better yet, Hogwarts Express related experience. And they're calling it the Hogwarts Express Adventure.
Where are we going?
You'll enjoy a pre-boarding experience, including clever nods to platform 9 3/4 and that special moment when the Hogwarts Express departs.
I don't know what they mean by nods to, because
we could just do platform 9 3/4.
I think it's pretty reasonably easy to do that.
It's been done.
Most of the experience takes place on a real moving train.
Although the pictures that they show look like a train that really doesn't have much place to go.
Do you have any idea where this is physically located?
They didn't say.
Awesome.
So I don't know if this is going to be at least somewhere. Somehow.
Ow.
You're going to board something
that goes maybe somewhere.
Perhaps. With someone.
Yes.
Presumably. So when you board the train that is supposedly moving, you are going to participate in some sort of challenges.
Yeah, they do clarify that it's a moving train, which I think is a fun clarification.
And I think probably more misleading than it is informative.
I agree.
And you're going to be participating in challenges with Hogwarts hosts. There's your someone. And you're going to end up, of course, in the gift shop to buy some merch and drink some butterbeer.
Enjoy butterbeer or shop bespoke merchandise as you recount your journey.
But where the gift shop is?
Don't know.
No idea.
I'm guessing this is probably going to be an experience at Leavesden Studio. I'm not sure, because they do continually change the experiences there and add new things, moves other things out. I'm guessing it's there, but they didn't say. I'm also guessing it's going to be kind of akin to the Universal theme parks, Hogwarts Express, where it moves.
Right. The train physically moves.
It does physically move, but to call it a train in the classic sense is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, because it is a ride complete with screens everywhere.
Yeah, so what you're seeing outside the ride is screens. And the train does move from section to section, technically on a railroad, but it's not even moving the wheels.
Nope.
It's just being pulled on a cable car line.
Right.
So I'm assuming it's going to be like that. It will open in 2026. So it's kind of like a stopgap to the series releasing in 2027.
Exactly.
So we'll have something to do in a year.
Exactly. So this is something.
The next major announcement that they got into was the announcement of the Audible series.
Yes, which we talked a little bit about on our last episode, or 2 episodes.
I think we mentioned it last episode and the episode before, but the Audible series is the re-release of the Harry Potter narrated books, previously narrated by
Stephen Fry.
then Jim Dale, and now it's going to be a more immersive or interactive edition.
Now it's narrated by everybody.
And yeah, every single character is going to have their own voice. So they're doing, for the first time, a female narrator,
Mm-hmm.
and she sounds pretty awesome. We're
Yes,
going to
she
include some
does.
clips here.
There was already someone there, but it wasn't Snape.
And she's doing all like the sort of like reading bits, but she's not doing any of the,
Like character voices.
because those are all going to be individually cast. So Harry will be played by his own character, and in fact, multiple.
Right?
There's going to be like
a young Harry and an older Harry. There's also a young Hermione.
who we've mentioned before. It's going to be played by our lovely,
Arabella Stanton.
who is playing Hermione in the TV series. But she is only doing the young Hermione in the books.
Exactly.
We've also got, Ron's been cast, the twins have been cast. Pretty much everyone's been cast because they've been recording.
Exactly. So everyone in the Audible series has been cast. I think what I really noticed was the fact that they're recording all of the accompanying sounds. So it's not just the actors. We'll get things like train sounds.
Spell
and-
sounds.
Exactly.
You'll even get some music in the background. Like you're going to hear Hogwarts
You're gonna
come to life.
Feel it.
There was one interesting casting that at first I was quite apprehensive about.
Hugh
Laurie.
Laurie.
And it's not because I don't think he has the chops and the range to portray somebody like that vocally.
Right.
It's just Hugh Laurie does have a distinctive kind of raspy voice.
Yes.
And is not traditionally what I would have heard in my head for Dumbledore.
For those of you who don't know who Hugh Laurie is, he's often known for being in House, and he is House in House.
He's also the Oompa Loompa in the Wonka.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. He does have a rather distinctive voice. Like in Wonka, immediately I'm like,
Right.
dude, it's Hugh Laurie. Like that's weird,
Right.
that he's Oompa Loompa, but whatever.
All right.
But there's a particular line that just hits. To set the stage, Dumbledore has drank the potion of despair in the cave where the locket is hidden, and he has fought off the Inferi, and he's weak, and he's basically helpless. And Harry says,
We're nearly there. I can apparate us both back. Don't worry.
and Dumbledore responds,
I am not worried, Harry. I am with you.
and he just does such a good job. Like the perfectly timed, emotional, I'm dying and out of breath pause.
But also,
Like when I listened to it, I was like, I felt it. I emotionally and physically felt what he just said. It was pretty awesome. So I'm actually stoked for Hugh Laurie. I think just like that one line was like, all right, I have all the confidence I need now.
I think that's wicked fair. I also saw one other casting that I thought was interesting. Mark Addy is in it, who played Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones.
He's got a cool voice.
Hagrid.
Oh, he's playing Hagrid? Oh, come on.
Come on.
He was one of our fan casts.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, we're here for this.
okay. I'm stoked for that. Let's go. So the book series is going to be awesome. You can pre-order the book series now if you guys want. And in fact, I'll include a link to the book series on Audible down below just to make it easier for you guys to get to. But you can pre-order now. You can use Audible credits, which I recommend you do. Thanks to a fan who commented that because that was super helpful.
Yes.
Because I've already started pre-ordering. But you can pre-order them, use Audible credits, and that takes the cost way down because they're like $30, $33, and I think $35 a piece, depending on the size of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So, which makes sense given all that's involved.
Exactly.
They've also released, staying on the theme of books, these little pocket potters, and they're these kind of like little pocket-sized guides for characters in things like that within the Wizarding world. The way they say it too is like, start collecting now. And it really seems like it's just like kind of a collectible.
Yeah, it's like, hey, collectors, here's just another thing
For you to buy and have in your house and probably never look at.
Exactly.
It doesn't seem like it's something that's very interesting. I guess I'll wait till it comes to like Barnes and Nobles or Books A Million and I'll take a look at it.
Right, I'll peruse it.
But it's probably not something that's going to end up in my collection, which I may regret at some point. But
No, your collection is quite well stocked.
the other book-related announcement was the new illustrated edition.
Which we're also conflicted about.
Yeah, originally Mima Lima had done, and there's been multiple different illustrated editions. You've got the Jim Kane illustrated editions, I think, and his are great. They're really beautiful. Those are sort of like the full-size hardcover sort of normal books. But then Mima Lima had been doing sort of interactive illustrated editions, but the Mima Lima editions had like all these little inserts that you could take out and all these different like pop-ups and all sorts of things. They were beautiful books, and they're kind of like a leather-bound, like a pressed leather-bound book. Absolutely gorgeous.
Do you have one of those?
I have all of them that have been released.
Okay, cool.
A while ago, I think this was a little over a year ago, they had announced that Mima Lima would not be making the next fully interactive illustrated edition of the books. And a lot of people were pretty PO'd by that, understandably, because Mima Lima were the art director, department on the film set as well, and had just done amazing work with all the stuff that we saw on screen, as well as with these books. The new ones are going to be handled by Bloomberg Publishing, I believe, and they did do a flip through, so I'll show that up here. They did a flip through of the books, and it's still an interactive illustrated edition. It still has all the sort of like, things that pop out and that you interact with to like spin things and all that fun stuff. But obviously people are upset because Mima Lima was kind of brushed to the side. We don't know all the nuances of that.
Yeah, but I'm a completionist.
I am too. Like, it bothers me that I can't finish the collection with Mima Lima.
Exactly. And they're gorgeous.
They are gorgeous. We don't know the reasons for why this was done. It might have been something with Mima Lima saying, hey, we're not going to do this unless you give us this stupidly high figure of money. And they're like, dude, that's kind of just extortionary of you, and we're not going to do that.
Maybe Mima Lima lost the ability to illustrate.
I don't think that's the case. Or maybe Mima Lima was like, we're kind of done with Harry Potter for now.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know the nuances of that. I do know that it's upsetting for a lot of people. I'm bothered by it, but we'll have to see how good this one looks when it gets into our hands. I am going to buy it. So don't hate on me for that. I'm going to buy it. Again, with that completionist mindset, I need the rest of them.
Yeah, he has to have it.
And I'm just going to hope it's nearly as good. It'll never be just as good, but hopefully it'll be nearly as good.
It'll be something.
Nearly as good? How can you be nearly as good?
I really don't know. We'll find out, though.
That's right. And then there's a couple smaller announcements about video games. Do you have any interest in those?
No.
Sure. Hogwarts Mysteries. It's actually a pretty popular, surprisingly popular video
I
game.
was going to say, they're popular. They're just like,
Well,
not.
I don't know if the second one's popular or not.
I think Harry Potter Puzzles and Spells is actually kind of popular. I've seen it.
I hadn't seen it till this release, and I was like, oh, that's
A game?
That's a thing. But Hogwarts Mysteries is going to be getting new quests, new adventures, and a lot of people who play the game think it's pretty fun. I did play it like way back when, and I'm like, I don't know, it's all right. It's like
It's a game.
like an RPG kind of game. Sure. I suppose if you had nothing better to do with your time, that would be super exciting news.
You could always reread the books, though, and that would be a better use of your time.
Yeah. Harry Potter Puzzles and Spells is also releasing a new club challenge events that allows you to unlock new special items and whatnot. It seems like it's sort of like a card style game that you play on your phone.
Also gives Bejeweled for the mini games.
Yeah, and there was this is video game franchise called Diablo that did something similar, and then there's like Magic the Gathering, which has like I believe a virtual edition too.
Right,
and
MTG.
Hearthstone is like all these other games, so it gives me those vibes. I've never played it. I'm not going to comment on it.
No.
I'm not interested, but it's cool for people who are.
Right.
There was also the sort of re-announcement of Tom Felton reprising his role as Draco Malfoy,
Draco Malfoy?
but obviously not in the TV series.
No.
This is going to be in the stage production Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Draco Malfoy is back and coming to Broadway. Tickets are on sale now. See you there.
Another touchy subject.
I know.
A lot of people just hate it and think it's absolute garbage and think that it should be thrown in a dumpster and lit on fire.
And I've heard that as well, but
I will say I have seen the stage production. I was fortunate enough to see it when it came to Broadway in New York, and it was like one of the I think it might have been an opening weekend, and it was the cast from the London production, the original London production, and it was freaking awesome. My understanding is that they've actually shortened it somehow. It used to be like 2-3 hour or like 6 hour. I don't know. It was incredibly long, and you had to do it across like 2 different days before because it was a morning performance and evening performance, but you didn't want to do it all in one day or it was your entire day. We went to New York and saw it, and I thought it was amazing. I've seen several stage productions. I've seen Phantom of the Opera. I've seen, like the Christmas Carol multiple times.
Right.
I've seen Frozen on Broadway with the kids, which was also great. But this was it was totally a different experience. And the way they make magic look on stage just blows your mind. Like, it looks real. I'm convinced it's real. In any case, Jasmine will be going for the first time.
I'm excited. I've heard bad things, but I'm still excited.
We're going again, and we're going to bring the kids this time because we are going to see Draco Malfoy reprise his role, and I'm going to fight
go
some little
see
kids so I
Tom
can get a signature.
We're going to see Tom Felton reprise his role as Draco Malfoy.
No, we're going to see Draco Malfoy reprise his role.
Right.
Because Tom Felton is Draco. So yeah, I mean, I'll be fighting kids to be able to get signatures. I did get the original cast. I had 2 copies of the Cursed Child screenplay because I had lost one. Oh no, I forgot to bring it with me. So we bought one there.
Of course.
And the cast signed, all the original cast signed that one. And I've got the Scorpius and Severus Potter. I got the 2 kids ones, 2 main kids ones.
Got you.
And they signed them, and that was pretty cool.
My friend just gave me a copy of the book, so I'll be sure to bring that.
I need to get Tom's signature. I
We'll
do.
be-
I'm not a starstruck person, but he seems like just such a cool guy that I'm like, bro, just sign it for me, take a quick photo with me. And if we do, we'll be sure to share it here.
We'll talk about it for the next 82 years of our lives.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. I've seen it. Jasmine has not seen it yet. It'll be fun to see how she enjoys it. And it'll be fun to see how my kids enjoy it. Wizards of Baking, hosted by the Phelps twins.
Brothers.
Hey,
Twins.
brother. Yeah. The Phelps brother twins,
Yes.
who played the Weasley twins. They are coming back to host the 2nd season. The first season was all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a cool idea. Couldn't get into the first couple episodes because what they were making wasn't all that thrilling, although the trailer for some of the later episodes did look cool.
What they made in the first few episodes wasn't as spectacular looking as what we saw sort of in previews as we went on. And the previews I've seen for the 2nd season have some pretty spectacular looking bakes. I'm going to want to see those.
Largely because I want to see if we can get some ideas for the perfect Potter premiere party plan that we will be talking about in a later episode. Way later, because I want to get closer to the actual premiere.
Later. But also, we have to start prepping now for the 2027 premiere party.
There might be some things we see on there that we want to make.
Exactly. We're easily going to recreate what these professional bakers are going to do.
Well, you can do more simplified versions. That'll be interesting to check out, but I doubt I'll watch the entire season. One of the other announcements was that they are hosting a new global Christmas line that is releasing to, I think, their premiere locations first, and then they're going to start getting it out to all the stores, and you should be able to order it online. It looks like it comes in like a trunk.
Yeah.
And if you can get it in the trunk with all the different items, that's kind of sick, and I might have to get it.
Right.
Because I already have the Christmas at Hogwarts throw, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This all looks like it's themed at Christmas in the Snow or Hogwarts in the Snow or something like that.
Yeah, I think it said Hogwarts in the Snow.
They did a Hogsmeade line either last year or the year before where you could get like throws or those kind of things. So it'll be interesting in what's different about this one. They've done a few Christmas lines, and you can usually get it at the like Universal theme parks and stuff like that. Weird place to get Christmas stuff when it's so hot at Florida Universal theme parks.
But Christmas does exist down there somehow still.
It does. They also kind of announced that this is the 25-year anniversary of the movies.
Correct.
Weird to talk about the movies when we're trying to move on to the TV show and make it sort of a separate thing. But in celebration of that, there are going to be additional upcoming festivities and releases. And so I'm excited to see what they do in celebration for the 25-year anniversary.
Me too.
I think it's also funny that we are now at 25 years for that and are fast approaching 30 years for the books. That's crazy.
Time moves so scarily fast.
It does. And it's crazy to think that like these books have been this popular for this long.
I do think that my entire lifetime is defined by the Harry Potter series.
Yeah.
I was born the year the first book was.
Yeah, it's a Harry Potter generation. It's
Right.
crazy. So definitely keep an eye out here for updates on all the celebrations and festivities that are coming out throughout the year. We're going to keep you guys informed of all that. We're going to try to just celebrate with you guys because this is going to be a fun year for Harry Potter.
Honestly, I'm so excited. There are so many things happening, so many different companies and people are just getting into the celebration of Harry Potter.
I couldn't be more excited. It's shaping up to be a pretty good couple of years.
In
coming
case
up.
it's not clear, we're excited.
Movie casting announcements, book casting announcements, stage play casting announcements. We've kind of got all the entertainment avenues covered here.
Yeah, audio, movies, and TV.
And you've got your favorite podcast here to absorb it all.
I was going to say, they mention a podcast on this update that the Wizarding World is given.
Yeah, they didn't really get into details because they were just alluding to our podcast. Just listen here.
Right here.
Yeah.
So that's what we got in touch with them. It's not a big deal.
So in order to do that, you should probably stay subscribed.
Yes.
So that you can, see our stuff when it comes out. And to ensure
potentially-
that, you should press the bell, right? That way you get notified and never miss a magical moment. If you like the information that we shared in this video, make sure you leave us a like and leave some comments about what you think about the casting announcements that we've shared and whether or not you think you're going to be getting the Audible edition of the books. Are you an Audible user now? Would you use your credits on another version of the books? Have you listened to the books on audiobook before?
Are you an audiobook person? Because if you're not, it's time to start.
I like it because I can be productive while being entertained. That's always a great combo.
Very much so.
So leave your comments below. Let us know what you think of all the announcements that we've shared with you today. And until next time, keep your wands at the ready.
And stay magical.
Finite.